And now we'd like to present another Mike, Mike Folgner, who's General Manager of Video from Yahoo. He's going to show you some of their newest innovation.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to talk about the industry that we're in the context, some in the context of search, but I'm also going to make a statement that search is one of, I would argue, 3 important things to think about as we build this business. And I also am going to make the statement that online video, web video, is not an adjunct to TV. It's a very different industry in and of itself, and it is its own industry. And so to answer the question, what business are we in? We're in the online video business, and it is its own industry and will become its own industry. So my background, before I was at Yahoo, I was the founder of JumpCut, which was acquired by Yahoo. Prior to that, I was at OpenTV, which was an interactive television set-top box software. And this was back in 99 to 2005, where the internet bubble was the early part of that, but also the interactive television bubble. I don't know if you guys knew, but OpenTV was a $15 billion company at some point, and nobody's ever heard of it. And this was driving that. OpenTV was putting set-top box software into cable systems and satellite systems to enable interactive television. We would show things like Jennifer Aniston shows up on Friends, and you can get a bug that says, "Buy Jennifer Aniston's skirt." And the amazing thing is that now that the industry that we're in is taking off, we're seeing those same demos. We're seeing the same exact presentations that we saw in interactive television, and what I'm going to argue is that this is actually the medium for that sort of interactivity and that sort of in-depth experience. I think television is a very good complement to what we're doing here, but the web is really an immersive experience, and when you're watching that video or you're watching that clip, it's in the context of an in-depth experience and a social interaction often, and I think that it's a much more appropriate place for those types of things that we've seen before. And so I actually think that this time around that sort of stuff is going to take off. So I'm very excited. So some background, some numbers that I'll throw at you to set the stage. Web video is growing everywhere. If you look at the ComScore numbers in April, we're around 8 billion streams with total throughout the market. And so, those are big numbers. They've been growing dramatically. And then if you look at the top properties, you can see, where some of the bigger networks rank. But the other thing I want to notice here is that it kind of it falls off a cliff pretty quick from the top to the from the top 5 to the top 10 to the top 15 in terms of stream count. And the other thing is that there are 8 billion total, but you take the top 5 and add them up, and it's about 3 billion. So there is a lot out there that's not in these top people, and that underscores the importance of search and discovery within this new medium. Ad revenue is going to follow. I think that if we, I'm going to do a bit of a comparison between where television is and where internet video is. Ad revenue is in its infancy, I think. We haven't really figured out what the optimal experience is there, but we will, and it's obviously that's going to be a big driver within this industry. But I think it's really important to, when we're thinking about comparing television to web video, it's important to understand where are the similarities, where are the complementaries, but also what are the differences and how we can embrace the differences to really make this experience more powerful. So if you look at the production between television and web video, there really isn't a lot of production yet for web video. You see a lot of clipping and taking stuff that is produced for television and put on the web. But you've seen some webisodes, Funny or Die just took off because they actually got some talent and put some webisodes together. So I think we need to see a lot more of that production oriented towards this experience. The programming is scheduled versus on demand. I think that one big difference is if you look at the combination of the delivery and the platform. In television, typically the platform and the delivery are held by the providers, the MSOs, and whereas in the web, the delivery and the platform are not held by that company, and they're distributed. It's Flash, it's Windows Media, but it's also owned by the companies, and I think that's one of the key reasons why you see the innovation and the differences. I mean, there are thousands of entrants in the online video presentation, production, search, and portal space right now, and I think the reason you see that is because of the openness of the platform. And then what I'm going to focus on here is the presentation and how you get to the content. In TV, you go through the remote control and the channel guides, and on the web, you're going through editorial, algorithmic, search, and as well as channel subscriptions, and then also social interactions. And I think that it's important that we look to build products that really take advantage of this difference on the web, and we enhance the web experience. So I wonder what happened to that. So what this says, when the black text is actually showing, is the the 3 ways consumers find video on the internet. The number 1 way is going to a portal and finding it or clicking through a link on a portal. Number 2 way is searching for it. And number 3 way is finding it within a social context where it's been shared by a friend. And the number 3rd way is the fastest growing on the internet. And I think that's very important. So this is, we've been talking a lot about search today, but the other really big important piece of this context or this puzzle is people are finding media online through their social interactions. So this is my group of friends. This is what they're watching. How do I surface what my friends are watching into what I help me program by my social network? And that is some elements of search, but it's also some elements of just taking the social network and building interactions around that, and really enhancing the feature set that connects people to the other people and surfaces what those people are watching. Bill Gates, I'm quoting Bill Gates, but in the road ahead, actually, I picked that up the other day, a couple weeks ago, and was skimming through it. And one of the things he talked about was when they introduced the telephone, it introduced a new way of communicating to people. So before, you had to go over to somebody's house and spend some time, have dinner with them, and the introduction of the telephone was you were still talking to people, but it was a totally different context, and so you had to learn a new way of communicating. And I am drawing that parallel between watching a video on television and watching a video on the internet. It's a completely different experience. You are in depth, you're zoned in, you're engaged, you have context galore, you have what I've been doing for the past, X interactions on this portal, you have my social context, and you have ways to search it, and also ways to look at how that person's actually on that, interacting with that video. And so we really have to marry all those things when we're thinking about how we develop product to surface content for people. Let's see if the black showed up here. Oh, there we go. There we go. So the different internet video experiences that you can have. What type of experience is it? It's here's what's on. This is the featured videos. This is the editorial. Hit them over the face with what it is. I want to watch this, which is a search experience. You know what you want, you know what you were looking for. And then here's what my friends are watching, which is one that I think that is very important in a social network, and one that is very unique to online. So what I like to think about when I'm looking at how to develop product and how to go after this is, how do I marry the algorithmic and the data with the editorial and with the social context, and how do I build product that enhance each of those different features, and how do we build product that once you're inside it, that we surface great content and you find it, and then also how do we build product that gets people and pulls people in to my product. And there's an equation that a friend of mine came up with that I like to use, and we actually have it on the wall in terms of how do you gather new users for your product. It's a virality equation, and it's the probability that a new user engages, so between 0 and 1, times the expected number of new users exposed, times the probability that a new user converts. So what does that mean? How do you get a new user to engage? You send it to a friend. You embed a video link somewhere else. You put the video out there so somebody else comes in and sees that video, or if somebody else comes and sees that piece of media. You increase your SEO so it surfaces in search results. You put widgets inside MySpace and Facebook. You also have great invite friends. Then how do you drive the expected value of number of people that hit that? Well, import an address book, so when somebody's emailing, bam, you get 20 people in that one action. One-click embed, one-click sharing. So and then how do you increase the probability that new user converts? Well, what do you hit them with once they actually see that? And how easy is the registration process? How easy? What do you get them with to pull them back into your site? And so if you can optimize, you can actually think about and score those things and get your data around all these different these 3 different areas, and you can optimize this equation and help gather new people in. And so it's actually one of the ways that we think about developing product. And so I think that the online video is an industry. It's very different. You can see by the types of things that we think about: search, context, how we the viral nature of our product. In addition to traditional marketing, we're engaged in a different beast. It's very complementary to the existing television industry, the existing media industry. It obviously requires the media, and we need to work. We work very closely with the media providers in order to bring their content into these experiences. But it is at its heart a different industry, and I think someday you'll see film, TV, and online video in Gartner reports as different heads. So at this point, I'd love to take some questions. All right. Thank you very much.
Could our next panel please come up on the stage for TV and video search?